Welcome to Manifesting Through Motherhood. I'm your host, Lindsay Williams, a self-development mentor, entrepreneur and author, dedicated to helping busy mums like you manifest success, balance and create passive income on your terms. With years of experience in mindset, manifestation, fitness, parenting and business growth, I share simple yet powerful strategies to help you transform your life without the overwhelm. If you're ready to up-level your mindset, build a thriving business and create the life you truly deserve, you're in the right place. You can also find all my books on Amazon, packed with tools to help you manifest and grow. So don't forget to follow the podcast to be updated on all new episodes. And let's get going. Welcome back to the podcast. And have you ever heard that saying, you are what you eat? And this has given me, ironically, food for thought, especially over the last couple of months, because we are what we eat. And I remember the first time I saw that poster and I was in high school and I was sat down, probably having like a sausage butty on my break at school. And I looked at this thing and it was like a pile of food. And I think there was a man there on this, and I think it was like the food was inside his stomach. And I remember looking at it thinking, what do you mean you are what you eat? And it's true. And because when you get to a certain age, and especially when you get to 40 plus, we are mindful. When I was younger, I wasn't mindful of what I eat, what I ate. You eat and drink and you go out because I wasn't educated enough. And education is key to living a more longevity, more healthier life, more, less health conditions, more activity levels. Because if we're not eating the right foods, especially as parents, we're going to struggle with our mood, our productivity, our cognitive. We're going to struggle with our weight, our cholesterol, our blood pressure, because these things start to creep in as we get older. I mean, working in cardiac rehab a couple of years ago, a lot of the people that have, heart procedures, heart attacks is usually through stress, cholesterol, blood pressure, and a lot of it can be within your family, and it is lifestyle. Because do you think a lot of generations, like my granddad's generation and my nan's generation, my granddad lost his legs because of his lifestyle, because of diabetes, because he used to drink a lot. He used to go out with his friends and have a couple of pints every night, and pie and peas, fish and chips, Sunday dinner, corned beef hash, carb, starchy food, which gave him cardiovascular disease, which resulted in poor circulation, cardiovascular disease, and then resulted in, he lived a good life, but he probably got another 10 years out of him if it wasn't for his legs. But it does make you realise, it made me realise as I got older that, and especially working in that, when I used to work in a gym, that we have to be so mindful of what we eat, what we put in our mouths, because I always say a moment on the lips is a lifetime on the hips, and I think it's really important that we manage that. And I have such health anxiety, and I'm always having blood tests, and I'm always checking my cholesterol. And last year, what I noticed was my sugar levels kept going up, and I don't know why, because I'm active. Obviously, I'm older, I'm not probably as active, and probably the foods that I used to eat, I used to burn off quicker, and it gave me the shock of my life. So what I've had to do is just really cut back. And this last week, since Saturday, I've just made some big life changes and choices. And I've had a really good weight loss this week, more than I expected. So I'm on a new, I've got a new thought pattern. Even though I've got new habits, I'm adding new habits into my eating. I've really pulled back, and the first few days, it's a big change. You can have loads of side effects, because you could feel hungry because our stomachs are shrinking, our energy levels, but actually I've been really good. I've been feeling amazing. I'm seeing results already. I'm ready to embrace the older me, and I found an old picture of me, and I think it would have been about 9 stone, and I was like, wow, that's me. That is me. I still feel like I look like that, but I'm not like that. But I'm happy with me sometimes. I am happy. I'm happy in relationship. I'm happy in my work life. But I'm always happy when I look in the mirror. I think that's a lot of us. I've had a C-section. I've ended up with a stomach that I wasn't there before. Previously, I was working in a gym. I was doing kickboxing and karate, high impact, teaching boxing. My body was moving. I was twisting and turning and kicking and splitsing and everything you can think of. But I stopped that. And then we had lockdown. I gave up my PT job because, well, I had a long time off. So I did a little bit online. But it isn't the same. My eating changed because I wasn't eating. You wasn't able to get a meal plan. So I worked in a gym and there was a kitchen and we had meals made for me. So that stopped. So I spent 4 months doing nothing in the hot tub, probably having a couple of drinks and relaxing. Didn't go out anywhere. But, you just eat what you want. But you just eat when you're hungry. But you don't really think about the calories. And it's not always about the calories. It is about energy in versus out. So if you're putting more energy in, we're just going to maintain or increase. But if we put less energy in and exercise more, so we are going to work on energy output, which is going to be higher. And that is just through increasing steps, just making small changes, parking your car further away or not taking your car, joining a gym, doing classes, going on YouTube. I've got a walking pad, so I'm doing exercise on there. So I create little exercise plans for me that work, and I work on my whole body, my flexibility, my core, my cardiovascular is so good for our bone density, for our circulation, especially it's the most, our legs is, the most vital part of our pumping system, and it will reduce my resting heart rate, which will result in better, output. And we're not going to have high blood pressure. So if you've got high blood pressure, exercising before anything, especially when you have high blood pressure, the doctors offer you medication, statins, but they do look at other measures. Like I used to work in exercise prescription. So I used to give people prescriptions based on their health status. So it could be lower back pain with high blood pressure, cardiovascular disease, with diabetes, weight management, a lot of people had a lot of arterial plaque. So we had to work on certain specific exercises to do that. So it's more cardiovascular exercises. But I also had to take in consideration that people had knee problems. I've worked with amputees. I've worked with wheelchair-based exercise. So not everybody is going to have the same outcome. Not everybody's going to have the same results. So it's making sure that you up the exercise for different people in different ways. So you might not be able to walk on a treadmill. So what you're going to do? I worked in for a small time it's like a war veterans gym, and it was amazing. And I was always, when I first started, I was like, well, can we do this? And honestly, some of the time, some of the guys would take the legs off and said, don't be scared, let's do some boxing. So, don't feel fragile with what you're doing. If you can, your upper body strength when you are wheelchair based is the most important thing to keep doing. So it's like doing moving in and handling. You would want to transfer, like my granddad his upper body strength, he was like in his 70s and he had to move wheelchair to his chair. And so, even though he was getting weaker, he had to improve. So I got him some weights, used to do some exercises, got him some TheraBands. So looking, I've digressed to the exercise, but let's look at the food as well. Like how, if we're doing a really good exercise plan with our food, how we, with our exercise and then what food they both need to go together. If you're going to the gym 3-4 times a week and you're just eating what you want, then you're probably not going to see the results that you want. You need more protein. We need to have better joints. You need to keep we need to nourish our food. We need good fats because our thermogenic, system needs to be stable. So our body will change the first couple of weeks of weight loss and exercise. You might feel tired. I think it's all about adapting and looking at how you can change your life. So the first week might be really hard. You might be tired. You might have DOMS, which is delayed at onset muscle soreness. You might not be eating enough. You might be really starving all the time. So you look at what can I fuel? So take things to work with you. I used to take raw broccoli, or I'd cook some sprouts. Things, I know it might smell a little bit, but carrot sticks, cucumbers, salads. I love Caesar salads. lots of chicken. If you're vegetarian, there's other options that, you can go and look on YouTube. It's, it's free to find out. So there's so many different things that we've got to think about. It's all about preparation at night, preparing. Think about, I always think, like, when I look at certain foods and think, if I eat this, I'm going to have a massive sugar spike. I'm going to be carb loaded. How am I going to burn this off? What time of the night I'm eating? If I'm having a takeaway at 7, 8 o'clock at night, say if I was to have a pizza, it's full of carbohydrates. I'm not going to be burning that off. It's usually a Saturday night. Sunday, I'm probably going to have a lie-in. So straight away, it's all going to turn into sugar. My glucose is just going to be sky high. And then the day after, I might top it up with some more carbohydrates with maybe a Sunday dinner, chicken dinner. So you can see where I'm coming from. Like, we are what we eat, and when we look at it from that perspective, we're like, wow, like, it can be quite scary, because we don't really realise if we're not being observant with what we're eating, then we are not going to make them changes. And you might want to be the opposite. You might want to increase your weight, and you might have an eating disorder. You might be really struggling to get food. Have eating avoidance issues. My son really struggles with sensory. You might be autistic. There's certain foods that you might not be able to tolerate. So it's just finding things that work for you. Just trying something new. Just swapping options for different options. So it's just, we all know if something has to be cooked in oils, hydro, the trans fats, and we've got to cook things like this. Is why the air fryers have become more popular, because we know we're not going to be, like years ago, our grandparents would have a chip pan, and that's all we know. How would you know anything different? That was wrong. Because education, because as we get older, we see people with health condition. A lot of people have got comorbidities, which is more than one issue. So if you're living your life with 2 to 3 comorbidities, then you need to look at how, what's going to happen next. Like, what will this lead to? Especially when you're a certain age and you can't be as active, or you might be going through the menopause, you might be really struggling. So things change, and it is horrible when you get older, because you do think, I always think, like, I can't just drop the weight like when I was 20. I'm not as active, and my joints ache a little bit more. But in losing weight, my joints will be better, I will feel better, I will sleep better, and my confidence will grow. So there's so much to think about, you are what you eat. It's true, isn't it? Like, if we eat a carrot, we're like, we just associate a carrot or any fruit or, vegetable as healthy. But if we all know, if we go out and have a burger or a pizza, we all say, we always look at the calories, because it's in our head, it's drummed in through social media and online and our doctors. We know that that's not something that you would do every night, because we'd all enjoy food even more. But we can't do that. We have to look at the consequences of eating a certain food. We all can. I always feel guilty when I have a really heavy starchy meal. But then I think, well, it's only a one-off. It's okay. It's only once a week. But that once a week sometimes then leads to twice a week, because we can really fall off track. So if you're staying, mindful Monday to Friday at least, you've got a really good, especially if you're time blocking, you're outsourcing, you've got everything ready for the week, you're prepping your food, getting some food boxes, talking to the family, seeing what you can, do together, then you can come up with a little bit of a plan. So yeah, I'm going to keep you updated with my progress. And let me know if you're struggling with anything at the minute. Have you got any health problems? You're looking at getting a little bit of a fitness plan or a health plan. I do one-to-ones. So even just talking through with somebody makes it sometimes gives you like clarification, doesn't it, on what to do next? Because sometimes we're so saturated with information online that we don't really know where to go. But yeah, I think it's all about this year health for me and improving my life. And yeah, I'm focusing on me this year, definitely 100%. And I'm feeling good. So I will keep everybody updated. And it's really good that we are doing topics about food, that's manifesting food and health and fitness, because we need this. We need to eat well, exercise to run our businesses, go to work and look after our families. So I will leave it there, and I will speak to you all later. See you later. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I hope you feel inspired to take action and manifest the life you deserve. Don't forget to come and join me over on social media and Instagram at Busy Mums Fitness Corner for more tips, motivation and behind the scenes. And also be sure to check out my books on Amazon. They're designed to help you manifest your dreams and grow. And if you're ready to take the next step and work with me, you can head over to my Linktree for all the details. Let's make magic happen together. So until next time, keep manifesting and stay amazing.